Hello friends, welcome to my channel Learning Electronics. In this lecture, we are going to study voltage commutated chopper working. So before starting this video, please subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon so that you can get more updated videos from here. So in this part number 1, we are going to study the working of voltage commutated chopper. In the next class, we are going to understand the output waveforms for this voltage commutated chopper. Now let us discuss some important points related to voltage commutation. In the voltage commutation scheme, a conducting SCR is turned off by applying a pulse of reverse voltage. So whenever we use a reverse voltage to turn off a conducting SCR, then that type of commutation is called as voltage commutation. In this type of commutation, the sudden application of reverse voltage across the SCR reduces the anode current through the SCR to zero rapidly, and thus this reverse voltage gains the forward blocking capability of SCR and SCR goes into the off condition. This reverse voltage is usually applied by switching a previously charged capacitor. That means in the voltage commutation process we need a previously charged capacitor. Now we will study what is voltage commutated chopper. The chopper which uses the voltage commutation to turn off the conducting SCR is called as voltage commutated chopper. The other names of this voltage commutated chopper is parallel capacitor turn off chopper, class D type auxiliary chopper, impulse commutated chopper and classical chopper. So these are the various names of this voltage commutated chopper. We know that chopper is a DC to DC converter. That means it converts a fixed DC into variable DC voltage. Now let us discuss about the commutation circuitry used in this voltage commutated chopper. As we have discussed in the last class, in the commutation of the choppers, that since chopper uses the DC supply voltage, so whenever the DC supply voltage is connected in the circuit, the commutation used to turn off the conducting SCR or conducting thyristor is a force commutation. So this voltage commutation is a type of force commutation. In the force commutation, we use external circuitry to turn off the conducting SCR. So what are the commutation components used in the voltage commutated chopper? Here the components are auxiliary SCR TA, capacitor C, diode D and one inductor L1 are the commutation components. So these all components constitute the commutation circuitry which is used to turn off this main thyristor TM. So as we have discussed just now, in the voltage commutation process, a previously charged capacitor is required. So to start the operation of this chopper, the capacitor must be initially charged with the supply voltage Vs here. Okay, so this capacitor can be charged in two ways. First way is to close this switch S. When we close this switch S, what happens? The current flows from this supply voltage through capacitor to this charging resistance RC. Okay, so this will be the path of current, and in this condition, when the switch S is closed, at that time these both thyristors TM and TA will be in the off condition. So here, due to this charging capacitor RC, this capacitor charges to supply voltage Vs, because here the path is providing for the current, so this capacitor will be charged to this charging resistance RC here. Second way of charging this capacitor is to first open the switch S, then we will trigger this auxiliary thyristor TA here. So when we trigger the auxiliary thyristor TA, then the current starts flowing through this supply voltage, then capacitor, then this auxiliary thyristor TA, then to the load. Now our capacitor will charge through the load here. So these are the two ways of charging this capacitor here. Next one is modes of operation. The modes of operation of the voltage commutated chopper goes from T is equal to 0 to T is equal to capital T. This capital T is called as the chopping period. This voltage commutated chopper has four modes of operation: mode number 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we will discuss these modes of operation one by one. While understanding these modes of operation, we will consider the load current I0 to be constant and ripple free here. First we will understand mode number 1 operation. Mode number 1 operation goes from time t is equal to 0 to t is equal to t1. So as we have studied in the voltage commutation process, that to accomplish this voltage commutation of the conducting SCR, we need a capacitor which is previously charged with the supply voltage. So this capacitor here should be charged with the initial voltage of plus Vs. So before t is smaller than 0, the capacitor voltage will be equal to plus Vs. So at t is equal to 0, this main thyristor Tm is given a gate pulse at the gate terminal of this thyristor. Therefore, this thyristor will go into the on condition. That means it starts conducting the current and eventually it will act as closed switch. So in the first mode of operation, because of this voltage across the capacitor, this negative polarity on the lower plate of this capacitor go to the P side of this auxiliary thyristor, and this auxiliary thyristor will go into the reverse bias condition and it will act as open circuit as it is in the off condition. This negative polarity on the lower plate of the capacitor will again go to the N side of this D diode. Therefore, this D diode will go into the on condition. The positive polarity of this input DC voltage will go to this N side of this freewheeling diode. Therefore, this freewheeling diode will go into the reverse bias condition and eventually it will turn off. So the devices which are in the off condition will act as open circuit and the devices which are in the on condition will act as short circuit. So in the mode number 1 operation, the capacitor voltage Vc will be equal to plus Vs, auxiliary SCR is off, diode D is on, freewheeling diode is off, and the main thyristor or main SCR is on. Now after replacing all the non-conducting devices by open circuit, the circuit will look like this. As soon as this diode connected in the circuit, what happens? This capacitor will get a path to discharge itself. Therefore, a discharging current will flow in this loop like this. That means here the current is IC, which is a discharging current, and let the current through the main thyristor is IT1 and let the current through the load is I0. So this current through the main thyristor IT1 will be equal to the load current I0 plus this discharging current of the capacitor IC. So since the main thyristor current is sum of two currents, high current rating thyristor is needed in the voltage commutated chopper. As soon as this diode connected into the circuit and the auxiliary SCR is disconnected from the circuit, inductor L1 and this capacitor C will constitute a tank circuit, because we know that the inductor and capacitor constitute a tank circuit, and the property of the tank circuit is that it produces oscillations. That means it produces a sinusoidal output. Therefore, the current which is flowing in this loop will be sinusoidal in nature. That means the capacitor current will be sinusoidal in nature because of this tank circuit. So the current IC is given by Vs divided by omega naught L into sine omega naught T. This can be written as IC is equal to Vs into under root C by L sine omega naught into T, and the voltage across the capacitor is given by Vc is equal to minus of V naught. This V naught is the load voltage into cos of omega naught T. That means the current through the capacitor will be sinusoidal in nature, whereas the voltage across the capacitor follow the cosine wave. Now coming to this tank circuit, this capacitor will start discharging through this main thyristor Tm and this inductor L1, and when this capacitor voltage completely becomes 0, then current through the inductor tries to go to 0. We know the property of inductor that the inductor opposes the change of current through it. So to oppose the change of current through it, it induces a self-induced EMF across it, whose polarity will be opposite, that is plus on this point and minus on this point. So because of this induced EMF, what happens? The capacitor voltage, which already gone to 0, will again charge to a reverse polarity voltage, that is positive on the lower plate, negative on the upper plate. So because of this self-induced EMF at T is equal to T1, what happens? The voltage across the capacitor will be equal to minus of Vs, and as soon as this voltage becomes minus of Vs, this positive polarity will go to this N side of this diode and this diode will go into the off condition. at t is equal to T1, and it will act as open circuit. When it will act as open circuit, that means there is no path for the capacitor to discharge itself, or you can say that this diode is preventing the capacitor from discharging itself. Now here we can see that due to this diode acting as open circuit, the tank circuit will be disconnected here. Now let us see the condition for currents and voltage in the mode number 1 operation. First we will see the capacitor current IC. Initially when capacitor is charged to plus Vs, before t is equal to 0, no path for the capacitor to discharge itself, therefore the current through the capacitor will be equal to 0 at t is equal to 0. But when the main thyristor is on at t is equal to 0, what happens? This capacitor will get the path to discharge itself. Therefore, the capacitor discharging current will flow in this loop. Okay, so at time t is equal to T1 by 2, capacitor current will go to the maximum value. It will be equal to Vs into under root C by L. So from this equation, the maximum value of the capacitor current will be Vs into under root C by L. At time t is equal to T1, what happens when the capacitor is fully discharged? The capacitor current will be equal to 0. Now this current will be in sinusoidal in nature because formation of this tank circuit by this inductor L1 and this capacitor in the first mode of operation. In the first mode of operation, the diode current will be equal to capacitor current, because the capacitor discharging current is flowing through the diode also, and it is in the on condition. And since the freewheeling diode is in the off condition in the first mode of operation, the freewheeling diode current will be equal to 0. Now we will see the capacitor voltage. Before t is equal to 0 only, we have charged the capacitor with plus Vs. So at t is equal to 0 also, the capacitor voltage will be plus Vs only. At time t is equal to T1 by 2, what happens? When the capacitor is fully discharged, the voltage across the capacitor will be equal to 0. Okay, and at time t is equal to T1, because of the induced EMF across this L1 inductor, the capacitor is again charged with reverse polarity. Therefore, the capacitor voltage will be equal to minus of Vs. Now we will see the condition of current and voltages across the main thyristor. First we will see the main thyristor current, which is given by IT1. So at time t is equal to 0. As soon as we trigger this main thyristor Tm, what happens? When capacitor current is not flowing here, so the thyristor current IT1 will be equal to the load current I0, as you can see in the circuit diagram, because here discharging current IC is not flowing. After time t is equal to 0, the capacitor starts discharging itself through the main thyristor and L1 inductor. Therefore, at time t is equal to T1 by 2, thyristor current will be equal to the load current plus capacitor discharging current IC. At time t is equal to T1, again the thyristor current will be equal to the load current, as this capacitor is already discharged itself and the reverse polarity voltage coming across it, and this capacitor loses the path for discharging itself. So the thyristor current will be equal to the load current, as this capacitor current is 0 at time t is equal to T1. Now we will see the voltage across the main thyristor VT1. At time t is equal to 0, when we trigger this main thyristor Tm, the voltage across the main thyristor will be equal to 0, as it is acting as a short circuit. So at time t is equal to 0 to T1, it will be in the on condition. This thyristor will be in on condition. Therefore, the voltage across this thyristor will be equal to 0 in the first mode of operation. Now we will see the condition for current and voltages for the auxiliary thyristor TA. In this mode of operation, the auxiliary thyristor will be in the on condition. So the current through this device ITA will be equal to 0 from the time t is equal to 0 to T1, and the voltage across this thyristor is given by VTA. So at time t is equal to 0, the voltage across this auxiliary thyristor will be equal to minus of Vs, because this capacitor is charged with plus Vs. So we will get VTA is equal to minus Vs when we apply KVL in this loop. Again at time t is equal to T1 by 2. What happens? The capacitor is fully discharged. So the capacitor voltage becomes 0. Therefore the voltage across this auxiliary thyristor will also be 0. At time t is equal to t1, what happens? This capacitor is charged with opposite polarity. Therefore, the voltage across this auxiliary thyristor VTA will be equal to plus Vs. Now, we'll see the load voltage and load current. In this first mode of operation, the load voltage will be equal to plus of supply voltage, because as soon as this main thyristor is on, the load is connected with the source. In this voltage commutated chopper, we have assumed that the load current I naught is continuous and ripple free in nature, so it will be always constant only. Now we will understand second mode of operation. Second mode of operation goes from time t is equal to t1 to time t is equal to t2. Now what happens at time t is equal to t1? The capacitor charged with opposite polarity voltage, that is plus on the lower plate minus on the upper plate, because of the induced EMF across this inductor L1. But because of this positive on the lower plate, what happens? This D diode will go into the off condition and it will act as open circuit, as you can see here. Okay, and the tank circuit will be disconnected here. So at time t is equal to t1, the main thyristor is on, but the voltage across the capacitor will be minus of Vs. The auxiliary thyristor will be in the off condition, as we are not giving any trigger pulse to it. Diode D goes into the off condition and the freewheeling diode will also be in the off condition only. Now let us see the condition of device currents and voltages. First we will take the main thyristor Tm. The current through this device will be equal to the load current I naught, because the capacitor current is 0 at time t is equal to t1. Now we will see the currents and voltages of the auxiliary thyristor. The current through this auxiliary thyristor will be equal to 0, as it is acting as a open circuit. Voltage across this thyristor is equal to plus Vs, as here this capacitor voltage is connected across this device. Now here the diode is in the off condition, so the diode current will be equal to 0, and since the freewheeling diode is acting as open circuit, the freewheeling diode current will also be equal to 0. Again, output voltage is equal to plus Vs. The output current or load current will be constant. The capacitor current will be equal to 0, as the capacitor is not getting any discharge path, and the voltage across the capacitor will be equal to minus Vs in the mode 2 operation. Next mode of operation is mode 3 operation. It goes from time t is equal to t2 to time t is equal to t3. In this mode of operation, commutation of the main thyristor Tm takes place. As we have seen in the mode 2 operation, this capacitor is charged with reverse polarity, that is plus on the lower plate minus on the upper plate. Because of this positive polarity will go to the p side of this auxiliary thyristor connected here. Therefore, this auxiliary thyristor will go into the forward bias condition. So at time t is equal to t2, to start the commutation process, what we do? We trigger the auxiliary thyristor and it will go into the on condition and it will act as short circuit, and this diode D will remain in the off condition only. Now what happens when this auxiliary thyristor will act as short circuit? The capacitor voltage will be connected across this main thyristor, and now if we apply KVL in this loop, what we will get? Vt1 is equal to minus of Vs. That means reverse voltage will be connected across this main thyristor. So this main thyristor will go into the off condition. As this main thyristor is going to the off condition due to reverse voltage across it, this type of commutation is called as voltage commutation. Now the load current path will be as shown by this red color line. The load current will flow from supply voltage Vs, then capacitor, then this auxiliary thyristor, then to load. So this is the path for the load current. Now this capacitor is getting the path to discharge. So capacitor again starts discharging through the load. So when we apply KVL in this loop like this, so what we will get? By KVL plus Vs, then voltage across this capacitor is also plus Vs, minus V naught is equal to 0. So from this KVL equation we get the load voltage V naught is equal to plus 2 into Vs. So at time t is equal to t2 plus Tc, what happens? This main thyristor fully goes into the off condition. So this Tc is called as the circuit turn off time. So at time t is equal to t2 plus Tc, what happens? The capacitor voltage changes from negative value of minus Vs to 0, as it is getting a discharge path, so it will discharge to 0. And since this capacitor is connected across this main thyristor, therefore the main thyristor voltage also changes from minus of Vs to 0. So from this KVL equation, when we will put voltage across the capacitor is equal to 0. So this value becomes 0. So we will get output voltage is equal to plus Vs here. The capacitor voltage is equal to 0. In this equation, we will get output voltage or load voltage is equal to plus Vs. Now after time t is equal to T2 plus Tc, what happens? The capacitor which was discharged completely is again charged with positive supply voltage. That means after time t is equal to T2 plus Tc, the capacitor voltage will be equal to plus of Vs, because when we apply KVL in this loop, we will get this type of equation. Because through this auxiliary thyristor, this capacitor will start charging to positive of supply voltage. So after time t is equal to T2 plus Tc, the capacitor voltage will be equal to plus of Vs. So at time t is equal to T3, what happens? As the voltage across the capacitor is equal to Vs, and this capacitor is connected across this main thyristor, so the voltage across this main thyristor Vt1 will equal to plus Vs. Now when we apply KVL in this loop, what we will get? Plus Vs, then it will become minus Vs, which is voltage across this capacitor. Then this will be plus minus load voltage V0. So minus V0 is equal to 0. This minus Vs and this plus Vs will be cancelled out, and we will get output voltage or load voltage will be 0 at time t is equal to T3. So in the mode 3 operation, these are the conditions of voltages and current. Last mode of operation is mode 4 operation, which goes from t is equal to T3 to t is equal to t. Here t is called as chopping period. At time t is equal to T3, we have studied that the voltage across the capacitor is positive Vs, and this voltage across the main thyristor will be equal to plus Vs, and the load voltage is equal to 0. After time t is equal to T3, what happens? Because of this negative polarity here, this auxiliary thyristor will reverse bias and go into the off condition. So now in the mode number 4 operation, the circuit diagram will look like this after replacing this auxiliary thyristor by open circuit. In this mode 4 operation, the auxiliary thyristor as well as the main thyristor will be off condition. Therefore, the current through the main thyristor will be equal to 0, and current through the auxiliary thyristor will also be equal to 0, and the collector current will also be equal to 0, as here we can see the capacitor is not getting any path for discharging. Therefore, the capacitor discharging current will also be equal to 0. Now at t is equal to T3, as this output voltage becomes 0, this load will act as short circuit. So this short circuit will come across this freewheeling diode. So this freewheeling diode will start conducting because of this. Therefore, in this mode 4 operation, freewheeling takes place through this freewheeling diode, and the load current will flow in this loop. Okay, so in this mode 4 operation, the freewheeling diode current IDF will be equal to the load current, and in this mode of operation, the source will be disconnected from the load, as you can see from the diagrams. During the freewheeling period, what happens? This capacitor is slightly overcharged, and the voltage across this the auxiliary thyristor will be slightly negative. Because of this negative coming here, this voltage across the auxiliary thyristor will be slightly negative, and it is equal to minus of del V. So now we will see the conditions of currents and voltage in the freewheeling period. During freewheeling period, the capacitor current will be equal to 0, as the capacitor is not getting any path for discharge. As the main thyristor and auxiliary thyristor is off, so the current through them will be equal to 0. Freewheeling diode is on, therefore the freewheeling current will be equal to the load current, and since the diode is acting as open circuit, the diode current will be equal to 0. We will see the voltages. The voltage across the thyristor 1 will be equal to plus Vs, as the capacitor is connected across the main thyristor, and the voltage across the auxiliary thyristor is equal to minus of del V, because it is slightly negatively charged. As the capacitor is slightly overcharged, therefore the capacitor voltage will be equal to Vs plus del V in the fourth mode of operation, and the output voltage will be equal to 0. So we have understood all the modes of operation of the voltage commutated chopper. The next class we will understand the output waveforms for this voltage commutated chopper. So hope you have understood the topic. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe my channel for more updates.